Welcome to this next training video on the Pastor's Report on Continuing Education, form number 11. Before we actually look at the form itself, I want to introduce you to a helpful resource that will explain everything you need to know about continuing education for clergy. Go to www.cpcumc.org. And on the left-hand side of the page, select the box marked Board of Ordained Ministry. From the different tabs along the left-hand side, click on Continuing Formation. Before we open up the Continuing Formation Manual, I just want to call your attention to the name at the bottom of the page. The Reverend Matthew Lake is the chairperson of the Continuing Formation Committee of the Board of Ordained Ministry. If you have any questions or problems about continuing formation, you can contact Matt at the information listed here, both phone and email. Alright, now you're going to click on Continuing Formation Manual and we'll take a closer look at that. This is the front page of the Continuing Formation Manual. If you've never seen it before as a pastor, it's time to get familiar with it. In short, we are at our best as pastors when we are learning, when we are growing, when we are improving as leaders of God's church. But this growth, this learning does not happen by accident. We need a strategy. We need to develop a plan of what we need to study and how we're going to accomplish it. This plan should focus on three key areas. 1. Your personal spiritual needs. 2. The professional skills needed to lead the church in these changing times. And 3. Developing a vision for the future. This plan will most likely include a variety of events and opportunities from conference and district workshops, seminary and college courses, personalized reading plans, independent and small group studies, online courses from reputable sources. As a matter of fact, there's so many different ways to put together quality continuing education that I'm not going to put them all in the video. Read the Continuing Formation Manual. And if you have any more questions on how to make this work, contact the Reverend Matt Lake, who is the chairperson of the Continuing Formation Committee of the Board of Ordained Ministry. Our continuing education policy is every pastor who is under appointment by the bishop must do 2.5 continuing education units per year, or 10 CEUs per quadrennium, which is the 4-year period of ministry between meetings of the General Conference of the United Methodist Church. It's so important that we think you need some help making this happen. We require that every church or charge budget for a minimum of $400 to help each pastor with their continuing education needs. Any monies that are not spent from year to year roll over into the next year so that that pot can grow, which would, and some folks do that strategically to enable them to take some more substantial coursework. If there's still not enough money, grants are available through the Board of Ordained Ministry. There is an application process with deadlines. Read about it in the Continuing Formation. And according to the board, the Book of Discipline, we are to be accountable for these plans of study and growth that we develop. As a matter of fact, it says, and clearly, that we shall report on our programs of continuing ed and spiritual formation at the annual Charge Conference. Now, in our conference, we don't do that at Charge Conference time. We do it as part of the year-end reporting in January. But we need to report on it, to track it, to be held accountable. I know in the Wellsboro district of the Central Pennsylvania Conference, as a superintendent, I watch that pretty closely, and that's part of the conversation that we have in our clergy one-on-ones, is we talk about what areas do you need to grow and develop, and we look at the continuing ed report to help you plan how you're going to get there. On the conference website, we're going to go look at the actual form now. Select Resources from the top menu bar. Select Conference Forms. Read the instructions, and when you're ready to go, click Continue. and click on form number 11, Continuing Education Report. Or, since you're going to have to send a hard copy of this in on paper to the district office, you can also just click the PDF on the right hand side and you can print out a copy. This is what the form looks like. It's very, very simple and straightforward. You just fill in your name, your address, your ministry location of where you're serving in your district, and then you have two sets of boxes, two categories to record the continuing education events that you took part in this past calendar year: spiritual formation events and professional and skill development. Let's take a closer look at each. Spiritual formation events are those events and opportunities that strengthen your personal faith and deepen your spirituality. This is a spiritual work that we are about, and we must continue to stay fresh and go deeper and grow into deeper maturity in our faith relationship with God. So these might be a variety of things. It might be Bible studies. It might be prayer retreats. It might be training in spiritual disciplines. It could be any number of things, but if it grows your personal faith and discipleship and spirituality, recorded here as a spiritual formation event. Professional and skill development, well, this would be sharpening our skills for the practice of ministry. This is being able to do our job better or more confidently. If I want to be a better preacher, I might take a preaching workshop. If my church has grown and now we're starting to hire staff for various ministries, and I'm not sure how to develop that, I'm not sure how to lead as a pastor over staff, I might take a workshop or some training or a course in developing staff. If my church needs a vision for the future and I don't even know how to begin that process, there's a lot of excellent training out there to help us do that. So these would all be professional and skill development opportunities. Again, please provide copies of the CEU certificates that you received or other printed evidence of the courses that are completed. Print out a copy of this form, staple it all together, and send it in to your district superintendent at the district office. And please, please, please keep a folder and a file of all of these reports from year to year for your own work. Part of managing that personal plan of study over the years is knowing where you are, where you're headed, and what you've done. So keep your own continuing ed file that should grow year after year, quadrennium after quadrennium. Now again, you have the ability to submit this form electronically, but there's really no point because you'll still need to send in a hard copy with the CEU certificates attached into your district office. So you can send it, but you're still going to have to send it all to us in paper form. All right, in short, that is the form number 11. It's the pastor's report on continuing education. As I said when we began this video, we are at our best as leaders of God's church when we are learning, when we are growing, and when we are improving. And this work, this growth, does not happen by accident. Develop your plan. Use this as a means of grace to chart your course of where you're headed. I want to thank you for your ministry. I want to thank you for your good work, and I want to thank you for watching.